Today, I'm really excited about the stellar lineup of speakers that we have for the entire day today, and mostly surrounding banking and financial services. This industry really serves as a barometer of this fiscal health and, by extension, the fiscal health of the world economy. It has been really fascinating to see how swiftly governments, regulators, organizations have been aligning and realigning priorities in this time of crisis. Banks and financial services firms are operating at a much higher level of hypervigilance, as I call it, continuously revising their pandemic playbooks, even as some of the world's strongest economies are reeling from the shocks of a disrupted environment, revenue, and unemployment in many cases. The opportunity to meet these unprecedented challenges and, in fact, thriving by responding with agility is showing up as banks and financial services adapt their services, their innovation, and their services around the virtual world. This includes really providing the right amount of liquidity and support to customers who urgently need them, enhancing remote sessions, for investment portfolio advisors, rapidly bringing fuller function and easier to use digital payment processing to customers wherever they are in the world. All the while, these services have to be more secure than ever, and completely resilient and able to scale to the nature of work and businesses as they continue to evolve over time. And not just banks and financial services, but everybody from asset management firms to, if you look at fintech companies to insurance companies, they've all stepped up to the game. And as the market evolves, there's still uncertainties in the market. And as they evolve, they are using different techniques, tools, processes, people to actually solve these problems. At MetricStream, we strongly feel that the need for governance risk compliance has never been greater in the world, and therefore the challenges and opportunities for GRC and integrated risk management has never been more than before. The velocity of risk has changed. I talked a little bit about this earlier, and the velocity of risk, the awareness of the velocity of risk has gone up significantly and quite dramatically. Companies that earlier used to exclusively focus on risk assessments on a few factors like likelihood and impact have started realizing that velocity and connectedness of risk is also rising, and therefore they've had to change their methodologies of risk assessment and understanding risk. We also see a significant change in what we call the peripheral risk vision, where traditionally companies have looked at within the frame, within the system, kind of risk information to measure, assess, and react to risk. Today, they're starting to look at what we call peripheral risk information coming from both inside and outside the domains of their organizations to be able to manage risk better, and are also leaning on market information, market data. Sometimes many of these financial institutions are coming together to create benchmark and market information that they can share and react to much faster than before. We also see, the whole concept or advent of continuous monitoring, the use of artificial intelligence technologies, ML, to be able to automate more and more as the market starts to move more towards what I call first line of defense. We've realized from COVID that, the people who are sitting in the second and third line defense are not always, may not have necessarily the frameworks of responding to risk very, very quickly. And therefore, the transition to the first line more and more in their ability to empower the front line to be able to react to risk, also gather information that the organization can actually work on faster. So, and like I said earlier, the last and but not the least, we are seeing a significant trend towards agility, where companies are not waiting, for these 12, 18 months of risk adoption. They have to do it much faster. They've got to do it more agile way, whether it is in terms of process, people, or technology. Now, as you know, MetricStream has been very active with our banking financial services world, and customers, and we're very excited to see that innovation is happening across, the financial services world, not just over the last 3 months, but over the last couple of years, just accelerated by the awareness that the, COVID and the pandemic has created for these organizations. And we are seeing more action-oriented analytics. We are seeing more risk that companies are willing to analyze. And in some cases, the leading edge companies are also looking at this as an opportunity of how to, see the changing world, whether it's on innovation, whether it's the practices of the consumers, whether it's digital payments, etc., how they're using that opportunity to actually take a further process of orientation in the markets. Let me give you a couple of examples before I hand it back to Peter for the rest of the GRC Leadership Series, Summit GRC Leadership Series. So one example is one of the largest European investment firms has rolled out or is rolling out a comprehensive firm-wide risk program with literally thousands of users with all lines of defense contributing to what we call a 360-degree analysis of risk in the organization. And it's powered by automation, powered by AI, powered by what we call continuous monitoring, in a very agile way, fleet-footed and agile way, and doing it what we call in bite-size progress steps versus trying to boil the ocean overall. Similarly, we have a global insurance company that has deployed a MetricStream platform along with other ancillary and peripheral tools and technologies to create a digital compliance platform to address changing regulations, policies, procedures, compliance controls, and not just at a federal level or a country level, but down to, in some cases, the state or the province level to be able to manage this better. And similarly, a large national bank has moved quickly to adopt our cloud solutions to support work from home while still maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of key information that are used in assessments across their business. At MetricStream, our whole product strategy is focused on 5 A's, agility, AI, automation, APIs, which is all about integrations, and analytics, which are going to power the new normal of integrated risk management. As Peter mentioned, the theme of this session is really fortifying risk and compliance programs for the future. And GRC, or integrated risk management, is really turning over its head in terms of how this is going to evolve over the next couple of years. We're already starting to see that evolution, but more and more is going to happen as we come along. Now, more than ever, we are seeing banks, financial services firms focusing on agility, transparency, and valuable and timely insights into risk that exist throughout the evolving interconnected financial system. We are seeing our customers reimagine the future in ways that will not just help them, but also the society, and build trust, reputation of the industry, and which is all about performing with integrity, which is, as you know, MetricStream's brand theme. But increasingly, as I've talked in the past, integrity is going to drive performance for a lot of organizations, particularly with a changing face of millennial and Gen Z consumers as well as employees. And as companies put the foundation of performing with integrity, we will see a lot more progress and in terms of how they're dealing with risk in general. I'm sure many of the speakers today have their own stories to tell and inspire us all. And I would wish you a very great event over the next few hours. And thank you again for joining us.